I believe in God, but I don't know for sure that God really exists. Saying this out loud is a risk, but it is a risk I'm willing to take because I want to live in freedom and I want to be the best version of myself. And so I understand that I have to walk through certain things in order to get to the other side of it. Man, I know y'all gonna eat me alive. I'm probably never gonna be invited nowhere else after this. Man, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Whole, Healed, and Healthy. Glad to be back. Listen, I hope you had a blessed week. I hope you had a good weekend. Last week was spring break, so we had Avery at the house with us all day. Loved it. I love it, though, because I work again afternoon, so I don't always get to spend that time with her before I go to work because she's going to school. So just having her here is always a joy. It was always a blessing, man. We had a wonderful time just spending time with each other. Got to spend some quality time, some much needed daddy-daughter time. So I love that. Then the weekend, we went to my parents' crib and we all just ate, got full, laughed, just had a good weekend, man. It was amazing. So I hope yours was blessed. Shout out to the Michigan Wolverines. You see it right there. That jump, man, we brought it home. We brought it back to Ann Arbor on last night. I was hyped. I should have went down there. I should have went downtown. I'm only about 15 minutes away, but I ain't cut out like that. I ain't got it in me. They was out all night. I need some sleep. But man, shout out to the Michigan Wolverines, yo. We are national champions of basketball, and it feels good. So without further ado, man, let's hop right in to another episode. You know, I think a lot of people can probably relate to this. I think a lot of people have probably been like me, like, you know, that feeling, right? You are standing at something. You're standing at a decision, a next step. A version of yourself is waiting for you on the other side of a choice that you have not made yet. So, like me, before you move, you pause. I know we all do it. We pause. Not because you don't want to go, not because you don't know what direction is forward, because I think we have an idea of where we're going, but you pause because you want to be sure first. Like, you have to be sure. You want somebody to look you in your eye and say this is going to work out. Marvin Winans wrote a song. He says, "It's gonna be all right. It's just the way he planned it." I ain't no singer, but I think we want to know that things are going to be okay. Things are going to be all right. Like the thing that you're stepping into, that it's solid ground and you're not going to fail. You're not going to fall. What it really boils down to, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is that we just want certainty, right? We want to be sure. We want to know. Like when you've been in a season where the ground has shifted from up under you, bro, I'm telling you right now, that is not fun. Where things that you knew that were absolutely true turned out to not be true, ain't a fun place to be at. So I feel like if you've been in that season, you're currently in that season, or you've been through that, like, this is for you. So welcome again to Whole, Healed, and Healthy, episode number 3. We talking about the feeling of certainty, what it is, what it ain't, you know what I'm saying? What it ain't, why chasing it might be the very thing keeping you from the life that's waiting for you on the other side. So I hope you're ready, man. We gonna talk about a few things. So as always, the first thing we like to do is to create some healthy tension, because we want to sit in between a few things. We want to sit in the middle of some stuff, and we want to find out what's for us and what's not for us. And we want to take the good and let go of the rest, because we are working and learning to be the best versions of ourselves. And I feel like one of the best ways to do that is to create tension within your life. Tension is healthy. So I feel like certainty feels like safety, right? For me, it feels like safety. When you feel certain, you don't feel anxious. You're not second guessing. You're not just staying awake all night, running through scenarios, the what ifs, this could have happened, that could have happened. You really feel like you're standing on solid ground. I think the pursuit of it, it feels like it's the responsible thing to do. It feels right. It feels wise. It feels like you're being careful, like you are protecting yourself. Let me tell you why. Because after you've experienced life, after you've been in a hard season, after you've had your trust broken, your identity shaken, your sense of reality has been disrupted. Wanting to feel certain, it feels like the most responsible thing in the world to do. We just want to be sure that what happened last time will never happen again. I know it because I feel that way every single day. So here are a few questions I want to pose to you because I had to ask myself these questions. I told you we're about to create some tension. What if certainty was never as available as you thought it was, right? What if that feeling of knowing, the feeling of being sure, was just a feeling of being familiar with something, right? You created a routine. It's the comfort of the known. We're comfortable in things. We're comfortable when we know things. When we know what's going on, we get a sense of comfort. But what if the pursuit of that feels like it's keeping you stuck? Think about that. I told y'all we're going to ask some questions and we're going to answer them questions. So we're going to sit with those things today and we're going to sit in between that tension and we are going to work through it. Now, I want to be honest with y'all. I am walking this out right now in real time. I'm rebuilding. I'm relearning. Really becoming the person that I want to be. And in that process, there are a lot of unknowns, right? So many things I thought I knew to be true are no longer true. And I'm learning to embrace the beauty of the unknown. The unknown is becoming beautiful to me. So listen, I told you I'm about to share some stuff. So Sunday night, me and Randi are having a conversation. And in the middle of that conversation, I said this. I said, I believe in God, but I don't know for sure that God really exists. I was scared out of my mind because I did not know, what was about to happen next. And thankfully, we walked through it. We worked through it. But that's a shock, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real shock. Some people probably just, oh my God, you don't believe God exists. We know God exists. Some people might feel like that. Some people might be like, hey, like you right. And some people might be doing both. Like, you could be right. You could be wrong. But listen, I told you I'm working through this in real time. So all my life, I've been taught that God is real and there is no doubt about it. Like, saying this out loud is a risk, but it is a risk I'm willing to take because I want to live in freedom and I want to be the best version of myself. And so I understand that I have to walk through certain things in order to get to the other side of it. And this is one of those things that I'm walking through. I feel like there are a lot of people who wrestle with this, but y'all just don't got the space to say it out loud. Like, I feel like there are a lot of people who wrestle with that thought of, I believe in God. I believe that there is a God. I believe that God is real, but I don't know. Right. And this is something else that I've learned is that, when you've grown up in the church does not often give you that room to wrestle with these feelings out loud without being judged. I'm going to say that one more time. When you've grown up in church, the church does not often give you the room to wrestle with these feelings out loud without being judged. You do with that as you please. In my short 42, I'll be 43, in my 42 years on this earth, I can tell you this. I've seen miracles, all right? I've experienced things that we would call supernatural. I've experienced God working through me to pray and to prophesy over people and to walk people through deliverance and to see people get their healing and to see prophecies come to pass, to come true. I've been a part of it. I've seen it. But I've also, come on, man, I've also seen times when prayers that I prayed, they weren't answered. I've prayed and I've fasted for days. Daniel fast, Louis fast, Randi fast, Ricky fast, DeVoe fast, Bell Biv DeVoe fast. I've done it all. I've done all of it. And though there have been times in doing all that, nothing in my life changed. I told y'all we creating some healthy tension. And saying this out loud, I know again is a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because I want to create a space where we are free to work through how we feel, to become the best versions of ourselves, to find the faith that we're looking for, to find God in new ways. This is what we do. This is what I feel like I'm called to do now. This is what I'm doing. All right. So I can remember, man, listen, I can remember going to prayer every single Saturday at 5:30 a.m. Sunday morning, going to prayer. Wednesday night, going to prayer. Again, doing all these fasts, all these things, being told that it is a sacrifice. And the more that you sacrifice and the more that you cry out to God, then the more that God will answer. There were times when absolutely nothing happened. I'm just telling y'all my lived experience. There were times when I saw no breakthrough. There were times when my financial struggles never left. There were times when I said, God, I want to stop getting busy before I'm married, and I could not stop. Come on, man, let's tell the truth. I remember going up for prayer Sunday after Sunday, like, man, just God, get this lust up off of me, get this demon up out of me. And then Sunday night, I'm back in it. I'm just telling you. So I've experienced both sides of that coin, right? But listen, instead of having the space to sit and think about that out loud, there was no space. You know what I mean? Like, there was no space. We were taught that something was wrong with us. It's me. The prayers that I'm praying are not being answered because I'm not crying out loud enough. I'm not going deep enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? Like, I'm too shallow, right? These are things that this is just my lived experience, things that I've been taught. You know, there's some sin in your life that's blocking your prayers. There's something that's hindering your prayers from reaching the third heaven. Like, you can't have doubt when you pray because your doubt cancels out your faith. I'm just sharing a few things that I've heard, that I was told, that I saw being told to other people. Again, I don't feel like the church gave me the space to wrestle with that in a healthy way, right? And this is what it did. It kept me in a constant state of chasing a goalpost that was always moving. Like, the goalpost kept moving. Every single time something did not work out, or every time a prayer didn't get answered, is because the goalpost didn't move. I heard somebody say the reason why somebody got cancer is because I wasn't praying for them. The reason why another person that ain't got nothing to do with me got cancer is because we weren't praying. Anyway, I carried that for a long time. And what I mean by that is that, like, I say this all the time. I say it, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it now. The church can teach you how to church. I know how to get up there and church, because the church teaches you how to perform. Man, I know y'all going to eat me alive. I'm probably never going to be invited nowhere else after this. But it's okay. It's all right. But what I know is that the church will teach you how to church, right? It will teach you how to perform out loud. I know how to get a reaction out of people because I saw other people do it and I mimicked what they did to get the reaction. Now, I ain't saying that it's not real, but there's another side to it. So what am I saying? Like, I carried that for a long time, right? Okay, let me get back on. Let me get focused. I carried that for a very long time, right? I knew how to perform. I knew how to put on. But then when I went home, I struggled because I did not know, why are things not changing, right? There was not a safe space to speak that out loud. So saying that to Randi on Sunday night was, like, really honestly the first time that I felt that I had room to breathe, because I hadn't shared that with her. Like, I think she kind of knew, like, she could tell, like, things in my life were shifting, and not in a bad way, but she, you know, that's my wife. She knows me. So she knew that I was working through something. And, you know, we were able to talk, and man, I'm glad that we did. But anyway, sharing that with her for the first time, like, I felt like I had room to breathe, like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. But I'm saying that because Both of those things are true that I just said. Answer prayers and silence. Come on, man. Miracles and nothing changing. All those things happen. Two total opposite things are happening, and both of those things are true at the same time. That's a real tension. That's a real space to be in. And people don't feel like they have the space to express it without being looked at, without being judged, or without somebody saying, hey, man, what's wrong with you? Something is wrong with you. Again, I know that I am risking a lot by living out my journey out loud, because where I come from, you don't do that, okay? But I want to be free, and I want to create space for others to do the same and find that freedom, man. I love it. I love it here. But that tension is real. Listen, I want to say something to some specific people, and I know exactly who I'm talking to. This is for you. If you grew up in church and you've been quietly carrying questions you were never allowed to ask, this is for you, right? Again, if you stop praying because it stopped being real, and then you were ashamed of that, come on, man, this is for you, right? If you've been saying the right things out loud while something completely different is happening on the inside, this is for you. I know who I'm talking to right now. This is for you. Listen, I want you to know there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. And I say that because I was you. I am you. We are walking through this together. Nothing in your life is broken. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are simply wrestling with the fact that sometimes our humanity is going to outweigh our spirituality. And that's all right. That's okay. That is okay. You know, the more that I say I don't know, the more free I feel. The more I understand I don't have to have it all figured out. My uncertainty does not take away from what I believe. It does not. It does not. If you're uncertain about some things, it doesn't take away from what you believe. My uncertainty is actually what's allowing me to find peace in the space of not knowing. Two things can, and I say it all the time, and I'm never going to stop saying that. Two things can be true. Listen to this. Not knowing something, not being certain about something, it doesn't cancel out believing in it. The loss of certainty is not the loss of belief. Those are not the same thing. And I'm saying that to y'all because I want you to have a space to walk through that out loud. However you have to do it, I want you to have space to do that. So let me talk to you about what I feel is actually happening. Certainty is a feeling. It is not a fact. All right. I did some research. All right, y'all. I did some research. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I am working on being the best me, and hopefully you're working on being the best you. So in that, I've been looking up things and just really trying to help my mental state to know that, what I feel, I'm okay in what I feel. So I've been doing some research about what certainty is and what certainty isn't. And this is where I landed. This is what I found. These are some things that I found on the Google. Certainty is a neurological state. I hope I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right? I don't know. Y'all gonna correct me. Your brain signals that a pattern is familiar, the risk appears low, and that the outcome seems predictable. This is what I found out what certainty is. How it works. The feeling presents itself as truth. The feeling is not the same as truth, though. The feeling presents itself as a truth, but the feeling is not the same as the truth, all right? You can feel certain about something that's completely wrong. You can feel certain about something that's completely wrong. And on the flip side, you can feel uncertain about something that's absolutely right for you, all right? That's right for you, okay? Walk with me now. When the ground shifts under you, right? When the things you were sure about turn out to be wrong, they turn out to be harmful, or not what they appear to be, your relationship with being sure changes. I know that to be true because I've done it. You don't just lose the thing, like you lose the feeling of being sure. And after that, being sure starts to feel like a requirement before you'll move again. Remember, I said a lot of us are at a decision that we're waiting to move until we feel sure about it. And I think this is part of the reason why, because we want to feel sure, and it makes sense because your brain has learned something new. Something has hurt you, something has harmed you. So now your brain creates a defense mechanism that says, hey, before we do that again, we're going to make sure. We touched the pot once and it was hot. So maybe I shouldn't touch that pot again. It's the same thing, right? I think that you're waiting to trust yourself again before you move. And trust is only built by moving. We got to move, y'all. I like to move it, move. We got to move, y'all. We have to move. So, that feeling that you're waiting for, I think it only comes by moving. Where are you waiting, right? What's the decision that you keep circling? What's the next step sitting on hold for you? What's the version of yourself you keep almost stepping into, but won't commit to it until you're sure, until you feel sure? It could be a relationship, a new one, an old one, making a decision about an existing one. Maybe it's a career thing, a career move, something you know is right, but you haven't committed to because you can't see how it's going to end. Man, I know I'm talking good. Maybe it's something creative. Maybe it's a project, a podcast that you want to start. You want to become a vlogger. You want to start a music career. You want to be a producer. You want to get into photography, like anything, something you've been sitting on because you're not sure if it's good enough, if the timing is right, or if people are even going to receive it well. And that's a big one because I know, like, what Erykah Badu say, I'm sensitive about my art. I'm sensitive about my podcast. I'm sensitive about my music. And so that's a big one. And you putting stuff out here and people either not receiving it well, they laughing at you with like, I get it, but we got to do it anyway, But the bottom line is this, whatever it is, just name it. All right. Right now, in your head, in your mind, no judgment, no pressure. Just name it. Peace is not the absence of uncertainty. Peace is what holds you inside of it. All right. When peace depends on knowing how it ends, peace will always be conditional. One thing that I know, life has no guarantees. You can't, life don't guarantee nothing but two things. You live and you die. In between that, what you do is what you do with that. All right. It's what you do. When peace is a posture, something you carry into the unknown, peace becomes available right now, right in the middle of uncertainty, not after it resolves. The unknown is not the enemy of rebuilding. The unknown is the territory where that rebuilding really happens, is where you put the pieces back together. And I know that it doesn't always feel good. It's not always comfortable. It can definitely be disorienting. It can make you feel unsteady, disconnected, like you're supposed to have an answer that you don't have yet. For a long time, that feeling was a warning sign to me. Something that I had to fix, something was wrong with me. Like, I got to exit. I got to find an exit plan and I got to find it quick. That unknown space, that uncertainty, living in that space, it has really become a safe space for me. Like, seriously. It's a place where I can think out loud. I can sit with my ideas. I can express what's actually true for me without the pressure of having to be sure about it. The hardest part is still resisting to over-explain myself, right? To over-explain my position, to justify how I feel or to justify my why before anybody even asks me a question. That's something that I'm still working through. Like, I feel like I need to be understood before I'm willing to be seen. That is huge for me because I live in that space where, hey, y'all got to understand where I'm coming from, but not anymore. Like, I'm learning to let that go. Rebuilding doesn't lead somewhere familiar. Working to become a better version of yourself, someone you haven't been, That means the ground ahead of you has never been walked before. You're doing something you've never done. The uncertainty in that is not a warning sign. The uncertainty is really a signal that something is new. The people who rebuild, the ones who actually come out of the hard seasons, they come out more whole, they come out more grounded, they come out healed, they come out healthy. Come on. Those people are not the people who waited until the path was clear. All right. They're the people who moved when it was still unclear. They did not have all the answers, but they showed up anyway. They showed up without a guarantee that was going to work out. They showed up without a guarantee that this is going to work. They showed up not knowing if it was going to fail. What did they do? They built trust in themselves by doing it anyway. And that is you. You are one of those people because you are going to do it anyway. One of my favorite scriptures is Philippians 4:7. It simply says, the peace of God, which surpasses all your understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. That's been one of my favorite scriptures for years, since I can remember. Because Fred Hammond wrote a song, The Peace. But I can't sing. I'm not going to sing it. Listen, but when I read that now, it helps me to trust even more when I'm not sure. Uncertainty doesn't get bypassed anymore. Uncertainty gets acknowledged. Then that's when I rest in the peace of God, because there are things I simply don't understand. I know that. There are times when we cannot make sense of the world around us. There will be situations that are beyond our control. Chasing answers in those moments, trying to figure out if everything's going to be okay, that's when my mind runs wild. It just gets to running. And that's where my heart begins to unravel. But then I understand that's where that peace comes in, and it comes in to guard both. That is what keeps me grounded, y'all. You may not know how that thing resolves. You may not know what that next chapter looks like. Yep. You may not be able to see past the decision you're standing in front of right now. But here's one thing you can know. You are not alone in the unknown. The one who holds the outcome doesn't require you to understand it before you take that next step. And that's not a small thing, man. That's a big thing. That's everything. Right? So as we come to the end, I want to open the altar. I want to invite you to the altar. I'm not making you come. I'm not locking the doors. I'm not begging you. I'm just offering you an invitation to simply do this. Release the requirement. Just for the day, just for this moment, just long enough to take the next step. Giving up that desire to know how it ends. I'm not asking you to do that, because that's human. That's a part of our human nature. And that desire makes sense, especially after what you've been through, after what I've been through, after what we've all been through. But what I'm telling you today is that you can put down the rule that says you have to be sure before you move. That's what I'm telling you today. Moving without being sure is something you've already done, even when you didn't mean to. The question now is whether you do it on purpose this time. The best version of you is waiting on you. Until next time, be whole, be healed, be healthy. Peace.